All right, this is Unit 2, Lesson 1 practice. On the last page, page 3 of the lesson. So we just want to simplify these radicals. So I like to think of every part of this separately. So I break it down to every term that's in there, every part of this one term. I pull it out. So 64 is a perfect square of 8, right? X to the 5th, hang on. X to the 5th is 2 goes into 5 twice with 1 remaining. So that means just for the X's, 2 are going to come out and 1 is staying in. For the Y's, all of them are coming out. So I put that together. Take all the things that are out and put them in front of something that's left in. Okay? Square root of 80. 80 is not a perfect square. Think of the list of perfect squares. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. 80 is a big number. So any of those could be a factor. If you have to try them individually, try them individually. Try to guess. It ends in an even number, so I'm thinking any of these would work. And what happens is if you put in a 16 into 80 goes 5 times. So that's a 4, square root of 5, just for the 80 part, okay? And then the C is just coming along because there's only one of those. And then the D's completely come out. So my final answer is 4D, 5C. Okay? Square root of 100, m to 11. Square root of 100 is a perfect square. 11 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10 with 1 remaining. So that means 5 come out and 1 is left. Okay. 12. Square root of 12 is 4 and 3, which is 2 and 3. Don't forget this 3 is out here. So we have that so far. And then the m's, 1 comes out and 1 stays in. So my final answer is 6m, square root of 3m. Okay, that's the order. Any numerical coefficients go first, whether they're under the radical or outside of the radical, whether they're in or out. Okay, and then the variables. 36 is a perfect square of 6. All of the x's come out. 16. All of the y's come out. So my answer is 6x3y8. I don't need to keep the radical sign if everything comes out. Okay? So apparently that was one big whopper perfect square of everything. All the terms. All right, square root of 200. Square root of 200. Well, remember what's on this list. 64, 81, 100 is a perfect square. And 2. So this would be 10 square root of 2 just for that part. And the ends, all the ends come out as 1. So my final answer is 10n square root of 2. All right. 81 is a perfect square of 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Put that out there. And then a to the 4th, all the a's come out. B to the 7th. 3 b's, 2 times 3 is 6 with 1 remaining, so 3 b's come out and 1 stays in. Put that all together, 45 a squared b3 square root of b. All right, I know it looks a little messy, but I like to break everything down, show my work. show something, which is required, right? And then and that way I can put it all together at once. That's the way I like to do it. If your instructor tells you another way, great, try to follow that. I find this useful. I hope you do too. All right, 32 is not a perfect square. It's not on the perfect square list. Perfect square in a 32. I know people know that 4 times 8 is 32, but 4 is not the largest perfect square in a 32. Turns out that 16 times 2 is 32, so that's 4 square root of 2. And only with practice will you get better at that, okay? X to the 5th divided by 2 is 2 come out and 1 remains in. 2 come out, 1 remains in. All right? And then the y just comes along because there's only one of those anyway. So put this all together. 4x squared, square root of 2xy. Okay? And when you're working on your homework, when you're in mom, sometimes they'll say that, they'll say this part here is the A, and this part here is the B. Okay? Be careful how they want the answer put in. All right, -5 times whatever this is going to be. What should we try? Here's my list up here. It ends in an even number, but it's probably big. So what are the rest of them? Let's see, 100, and then what? 121, 144, 169. I tried that one because it ends in an even number. So 144, put that in your calculator. 288 divided by 144 is a 2, so it's correct. That's a perfect square of 12. Square root of 144 is 12. And that needs to be multiplied by a -5. So that's going to be a -60 square root of 2 for just that part. The x is just going to come along because there's just one of those. Doesn't matter where I put it for my purposes. That's going to be coming out as a y. So my final answer would be 60y square root of x. Okay?